When all these pieces come together, the truth is revealed. Years ago, a man drew a painting. It was an unusual one, full of secrets. Back then, it was just a painting. But today, it's much more than that, the Mona Lisa. So, who is this Mona Lisa? In what era did she live? What was hidden beneath her mysterious smile? We'll get to that, but could exaggerating Mona Lisa be unnecessary? Some look at the painting and say, it's just a woman. Others think this painting isn't only a portrait of a woman, it's a masterpiece. Because the Mona Lisa was moved between different studios and with fine details. Completed in 16 years using the golden ratio. Stolen twice in 500 years and once damaged with acid. These traits make it unique. But that's not the only thing that makes it special. Mona Lisa, the model. This painting was the greatest summary of Leonardo's skill as a painter. Having painted fewer than 20 works in his life. Da Vinci, as in The Last Supper, is said to have hidden certain secrets here as well. What makes us think so is the encryption he used in his notebooks and works. Leonardo wrote his texts backwards so they wouldn't be stolen or easily read. He also arranged some of his most important notes in a mixed order, combining locations and parts only in a way he understood. It was a simple form of encryption. Looking at all this, you might call him paranoid. But maybe he had to be. Pascal Cotte wanted to go deep into the Mona Lisa. To do this in a reconstructed scanning environment. With 240 million pixel resolution, capturing 13 wavelengths of light. Thus, 4 layers of the painting were revealed using modern technology. Leonardo's preparatory work is shown at the top right through infrared reflectography. The thinness of the paint layer and the traces of the canvas it's fixed to. At the lower left with X-ray radiography. The consecutive paint layers and the accidents during drawing. At the lower right with ultraviolet fluorescent light. And at the upper left, the final version, the one we see today. You can review these images from the link at the end of the video. But as a result of previous examinations, some details were noticed. Now it's time to reveal the secrets hidden in those details. Researcher Stevenson and his team made an ultra-resolution copy of the painting and studied it for days. One day, they noticed something just beneath the bridge on the right. When they enhanced it a bit, they saw a figure. The numbers 7 and 2. Continuing their investigation, they approached Mona Lisa's eyes and saw faint lines. Looking more closely, they discovered a clear L in the right eye. And an S clearly visible in the left. In short, L, S, and 72. To find out what these meant, they checked whether the view behind Mona Lisa was real. They found a small town called Bobbio. It is clearly known that Leonardo had been there before. From a medieval castle. The surroundings look remarkably similar to the painting. The winding river, the high hills. And the stone bridge on the right side. Don't be surprised that the bridge looks similar. Because although it appears upright, it was drawn horizontally to look more comfortable. At least that's what we think Leonardo intended. Here's where it gets interesting. In a flood in 1472, the bridge suffered major destruction and was later rebuilt. Making the number 72 meaningful. That's exactly Leonardo's era. Did Leonardo intentionally place this number? Or was it just a coincidence? It's unknown why he added it, but Leonardo da Vinci was known to have meaning in everything he drew or included. So what did the letters L and S in her eyes mean? L could stand for Leonardo, but what about S? To find out, we had to dig into Leonardo's life. At one point in his life, Leonardo took in a boy from a poor family. When he was 10 years old, a young John Giacomo Orino, who, because of his mischief and bad behavior, was later called by Leonardo Salai, meaning little devil. According to many, Salai was Leonardo's apprentice, his inspiration, perhaps even his lover. Leonardo reflected Salai in several of his paintings. Could he have had a relationship with him? For example, in this portrait. Its purpose is unknown. But this one-to-one portrait of Salai might contain intriguing secrets. And indeed, it seemed so. Compared with the Mona Lisa, the nose, chin, facial structure, and smile were incredibly similar. Could that really be a coincidence? Leonardo never mentioned anyone named Mona Lisa. Nor do we know for sure who her family was. What connection did he have, and why? When I asked this question, the answer turned out to be very close. The secret was, in fact, this. At first, Leonardo didn't pay much attention to his apprentice. But later realized their harmony. And eventually they became lovers. Knowing that would have cost them their lives. Because homosexual relationships at that time were punishable by death. Leonardo and Salai had to keep it secret for life. And they did. But Salai wanted Leonardo to show that he was the only one who mattered. And perhaps Leonardo wanted that too. He couldn't do it openly, but there was one way. To make Salai live on under another name and face, perfectly. That way, he could show the value he gave him. For this reason, he carried the painting with him constantly. And secretly continued working on it in many studios for 16 years. It had to be perfect. The nose, the facial features. They all had to look alike, yet not be recognizable. He made changes in certain places. And finally completed the painting he had worked on so meticulously. It couldn't be called Salai. Many people knew that nickname. Instead, he encoded the name Mon Salai, meaning my little devil. Thus, Mona Lisa. Mon meant my. Leonardo concealed his great secret, one that could have cost him his life. In the painting of the Mona Lisa. And the letter S in her eye finally made sense. Although this may sound like a conspiracy theory. When the pieces are combined, the truth seems to fit. But the secrets thought to be hidden in the painting weren't the only ones. In my previous video, Secrets from the Last Supper, I talked about Leonardo's mirror technique. And how he inserted hidden messages that way. With your guidance, I'd like to show you a few points I deliberately skipped before. For example, when the breads and hands in the Last Supper align with a musical note. They form a melody whose meaning is still unsolved. Also, in the area where we think Leonardo hid himself. There was a part he pointed to with his own hand. You had asked me to show that. But the Illuminati was an organization founded in the 18th century. Da Vinci lived in the 15th. Yet the one-eye symbol isn't exclusive to the Illuminati. It's been known since the Torah and, later adopted by the Illuminati, is thought to represent the Antichrist. Da Vinci, said to be irreligious and known for satanic analogies, is likely to have hinted at the Dajjal. If we flip the Mona Lisa the same way and zoom in, the painting gains a three-dimensional quality. And Mona Lisa seems to stare right at us. When mirrored from the edge, a strange figure appears, one that reflects leadership. As I said before, we didn't create or invent this, Leonardo himself did. What we're doing here is simply trying to understand what Leonardo hid from different angles. Paintings like the Mona Lisa and the Last Supper show that Leonardo da Vinci's works were far more than simple paintings. Through intelligence, mathematics, and philosophy, always aiming for perfection, he proved himself to be a true genius. Are there really secrets he hid, or just our own imaginations? Recognizing and interpreting him this way reminds us that sometimes in life, we have to push our limits. Who knows, maybe there are still other secrets waiting to be revealed. What do you see when you look at the Mona Lisa? If you want more videos like this, show it by liking the video. There are still many more secrets to solve. Subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to leave the questions you're curious about in the comments.